on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel here at AZ Ruction, where we talk about my life, my experiences, the people I've met, and how I've dealt with them, along with many more other things. So if you're new to the channel, please go ahead, give it a comment, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and get at that bell notification so you get all this new content coming your way. And as always, if you or anybody you know is having any kind of an addiction problem and you would like to get them or yourself some help, please go ahead and get down at me in the comments so we can try and get you some help. Real quick before we move on, I want to give a huge shout out to a buddy of mine, convicted to Christian. And if you guys don't know and you're into that kind of content, even if you're not and you just want to hear something positive, hey man, you guys got to go get my man right here a good visit, a good comment, a good subscribe, and a good follow. So if you want your daily bread and you want to have a day blessed, then go have it with my man, Convicted to Christian. Let's go. So let's go ahead and dive into the Alaskan Avenger. Jason Vukovich, being born on June 25th, 1975. He was raised by his dad. He never really knew his mother, and he was raised by his father until he was about 3 years old. At that point in his life is when everything's going to change. This is when everything is completely going to change this man's life. Because then he is put up for adoption. Larry Lee Fulton, who is now his legally adopted father, was brought into this home now where sexual and physical abuse ran rampant until the age of 16, when Jason decided he was going to run away and did not want to come back. Did everything that he could, went from stealing and being homeless so that he wouldn't even go and get help because he didn't even want them to ask for his ID and ship him back there. That's how terrified and that's how bad his life was. That he just didn't even care. He'd rather be homeless and, doing whatever he could to stay away from going back over there. A little time down the road, Larry Lee Fulton is then arrested and he is charged with some sex crimes. Now, with that being said, how much time do you think he got for that? Go ahead, let me know down in the comments if you don't know. But yeah, let me know. Because I'm going to tell you right now. He got 3 years of probation. And he was set back into the world, basically with a slap on the wrist. Now, is that really the type of justice that is supposed to be served? Is that really the type of message that we want to send out? We want to allow this? We want to let this type of thing be socially acceptable? That should be socially unacceptable. And because it's not, that is unacceptable. On June 2016, man, Jason Vukovich is arrested. He's arrested and he's charged with, showing up at these weirdos' houses. He used a online sex offense registry website, found out where they lived, and he showed up. And I would like to call it justice served. Others are going to disagree. But it is what it is, right? I mean, even just a little tiny bit of justice in something like this feels like a lot of justice. Now, keep in mind, nobody died from this. Yes, it was brutal, and I do not condone anybody going out and doing this, and neither does Jason Vukovich. If you could talk to him and have a conversation with him, from what I've seen on his videos, I'm 1000% positive he would completely direct you in the opposite direction. He would teach you or tell you to please go and get help. And he would probably try and do what he could to try and help you. I mean, I'm not saying that's what he would do. I'm just saying that's the type of person that I get from him. Because you guys got to stay tuned later for the clip that he says. Some really moving stuff, and you guys should probably listen to it. I mean, I'm just saying, you don't have to, but you should. It's really good. You know what I mean? Make you think about things just a little bit differently. Definitely made me think about things differently. And I'm already on that side. So, you know what I mean? It definitely will open up your eyes just a little bit more. I guess one of the things that I really just wanted to say is we as the YouTube community, we kind of have some sort of an obligation in some way, shape, form, or fashion, whether everybody wants to recognize that or not. And that's okay for the ones that don't. But for the ones that do, just know that we do have a voice. We can stand up and we can stop that type of shit. We just got to work together. Come together like we've been doing. And keep pushing these issues. Let's get these weirdos offline. We might not be able to keep them from living next to us in our houses and at our schools and shit like that. But you know what? We can do other things. We cannot let them online. Doesn't matter how big or small your platform is. We all can say something. We all can contribute in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes our opinions as YouTubers or bloggers or whatever you want to say that we do, sometimes our opinions are wrong. Other times they're right. But then if you ask yourself, isn't that an opinion as well most of the time? We can't allow little things like this to happen. Once one gets let in the door, that's all it takes is just a one. Then it starts being okay for 2, 3, 4. Come on. They're already having a hard time keeping the predators off now. Look at how far this dude got. That's a huge platform. So I just thought that I would speak to all of us, to everybody, and just quit with the bullshit. Let's get rid of this dude. Let's get rid of these other motherfuckers that are on here. Would you want your son or your daughter tuning into that dude? Nah, there's plenty of other channels that aren't run by weirdos. Go check out Street Beefs. Hell, you can go on Instagram. There's all kinds of shit on YouTube. You can just watch fights. You don't have to sit there and subscribe to that dude's channel just to get fights. Come on, man. Get it together, people. Hey, for everybody else who we've all been fighting against this shit, this movement that has grown. Well, let's keep it growing and let's not let it stop. Because stuff like this is true.
Pages down in Texas. We've had a senator up in the Bronx loan us her spot to run events up there with the Knuckle Up group up there. The list goes on and on. Chief of police, actually in Camden, actually wants us to always come back down there. I talked to the chief of police out there personally that wants us to always come down to Camden and run fights.
And then, of course, if that's true, then how is that true? How does this still keep happening? How is he able to have a platform at all?
To mention too that it's important for everybody to realize that if you are a survivor or a person that has dealt with child abuse, sexual assault, or physical abuse in your lifetime, that we sort of constitute a very strange and unique family of sorts. The sad part about this particular type of abuse is that part of this tree that has very long roots is that we all end up isolated and lost in our own world and separated from our families and support systems and things like that. So it's probably the time in life for this particular issue to come to the forefront for people to be concerned about it, because child abuse is ancient. It's very, very old. And the people that participate in it and the people that prey on kids are well organized, they're well funded, they're well connected, they've been doing it for a really long time. And proof of that, or evidence of that, is in the disparity of prison sentences that you see between people that molest kids and people that beat up child molesters. just the rate at which they let sex offenders out of prison is ridiculous. So I just appreciate that the family has come out of the woods to support my experience. It just means a lot. And I think it's important for people to remember that if you ride for me, I ride for you. Believe that. And we all have to stick together. It's super important for people to stick up for kids when they have the chance, when they have the opportunity. It's a very important thing to do because most of us just get forgotten about and brushed aside. Mm-hmm. And that's not cool. That doesn't work out very well at all for anybody.
Agreed. And just so you know, there's been a ton of people who have reached out and private messaged me and told me about their experiences. And I mean, it's a massive amount of people out there who have experienced this, and it's just mind-blowing to me. Like, I didn't experience this. I wasn't, molested as a kid or anything like that. And so the amount of people that are coming forward right now is just, it blows my mind. I can't even fathom. So
I can't understand why this particular issue of people preying on kids has been taboo or not spoken of or not properly addressed. It seems like our society, we're still focused on this skin color has been picked on, or that skin color has been picked on, or this nationality or that nationality, which is valid and legitimate, but the entire time kids have been preyed on, irregardless of skin color or nationality. That's been happening the entire way. But what I also know from my personal experience is change never happens from the top down. It always happens from the bottom up. And the person that you're listening to right now is absolutely at the very bottom of this entire situation. I'm the type of guy that would go and smash out somebody who was molesting a kid or on their way to molest a kid. That's literally what I'm serving time for. And while I don't think everyone should go out and do that, I do think every child molester should not sleep easy at night wondering if someone is going to come, because that's the only thing that deters that sort of mindset of preying on kids. So it's a really important thing to recognize that all change happens from the bottom up, and this is the absolute bottom right here. That's what you're listening to right now. It's the bottom. I promise you.
Yeah. I know.